What's good, all my nerdos? It's your boy Halo Spades, and I'm back like I never left with the Cube Gaming, and we're here to talk about some exciting, abusing, enter the battlefield deck techs today with new cards from Ikoria. Let's go. Alright, welcome back, folks. We're back here to do some deck techs. And we got two lists for you today to try out and have fun. Hopefully you can abuse them. So let's get to it. Fingerprint scanner, because those are fun. Those are fun. All right. So we are looking at Bant ETB fun times here. And we have lots of mixed up ideas. So this deck doesn't really have much of an identity, but it is looking kind of fun. So let's go ahead and see if we can abuse this, all right? So starting from the new set, we have us 3 Kinnan Bonder Prodigies. So what he does, all right, he's a green and a blue. He's a 2/2 that whenever you tap a non-land permanent for mana, add 1 mana of any type that permanent produced. So mana dorks, boom. So you could easily have, I'm not great at math, what is it? Turn 1, Land of War, turn 2 this, and on turn 2 you're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. On turn 2, which I'm sure you guys could find other ways to abuse it, but we're talking about for Pioneer. For Standard, we don't have obviously Land of War Elves. We have other mana dorks such as Paradise Druid and what's that one, that Leafkin Druid. But we're gonna talk about what we're focusing on here today. But the new card is Kinnan. Just so you know, one of the new cards. There's plenty others, so bear with me here. And we're running, as you heard me say, 4 Leafkin Druids because this ties in with one of the most valuable creatures right now in Standard. That's an uncommon, and it's actually fun to play with. Well, unless you're playing against it, then it's not fun. We have Risen Reef, all right? And he doesn't need any explanations. I'm sure you guys know about him right now. We also got Euro, Titan of Nature's Strength. That's a mandatory if you're going to be in any Simic colors or run those type of colors. And we have 2 Luminous Brood Moms. Now what these are for, see, I saw that and I said, ooh, this looks like fun. And you could combine it with Euro, and I first started off with Croxa because Croxa is just pretty nasty, and those are the colors I like. But I was like, ooh, if I could do it with that guy, then I could also do it with Euro. So that's where I came up with this list. So we have the 2 Luminous Brood Mom just for that. There's not really much board wipes going on right now because people are mostly exiling your creatures and stuff like that. All right, but it's just there because it dies off of its own ETB effect. So pretty good if you ask me. So what's better than drawing 1 card and gaining 3 life? How about drawing 2 cards and gaining 6 life? Good enough for me. So put those 2 together. Bam. We have 2 Thassa Deep Dwelling. Maybe we could go down to 1, but I want to try it with 2. I want to make sure I see this card on the battlefield. And this right here could flicker a bunch of all these creatures that have ETB effects. Even you could flicker a Leafkin Druid and have a Risen Reef out and then just go bloop bloop, or however you want to do it, but you could do it again. We have a Cavalier of Dawn. This card has not seen any play in hardly any decks. It's been fringe, but it seems like a good card because it has a permanent clause pretty much. So, and it's not target opponent or anything. It says, when Cavalier of Dawn enters the battlefield, destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 colorless golem artifact creature token. Oh no, you're giving your opponent a 3/3. Well, with this deck right here, you're going to be outclassing a 3/3, so they could have a 3/3 for days and it'll just sit there and do nothing. But you just got rid of either Elspeth Conquers, which is not something you really want to target, to Fairy, Euro, it always feels bad, but you know, Nissa, I'm just saying, Nissa's still annoying. So we have 1 of those in. We have 3 Cavalier Thorns to help with the ramping, and it has reach, so it can block any flyer. It's a 5/6. You guys know what it does. 2 Agent of Treacheries, because you know what's fun? Stealing people's stuff and using it for yourself. That's the best. Like for example, you could flicker Agent of Treachery with either Thassa Deep Dwelling, or if it dies, you bring it back with Luminous Brood Mom, and they gain flying. Now, the flying does not really apply to the Titan because, you know, it dies on ETB. But imagine just doing this, taking their stuff non-stop. Well, not non-stop. You get what I'm saying, but you know what I'm trying to say here. Thassa, Agent of Treachery. And with the way we're ramping, you could probably cast it. Just saying. So, those are all for the creatures. We have 26 of them in the deck. And we have your mandatory 4 growth spirals. Alright, so we're going to talk about a new card from the set that a lot of people are excited about, and it's actually proven to be a much better card than people are giving credit for. Mainly because if you look at it at face value without even reading what the text does or anything like that, you would say, why would you run this? But it's for the memes, that's why you run it. And we're talking about 2 Shark Typhoons here. This is going to be crazy fun times because you got all this mana, don't know what to do with it, so let's do something fun. Let's create a giant freaking shark with flying at instant speed because your opponent would love to deal with that, and guess what? It gets around Teferi. Teferi bounced that. Nope, you ain't bouncing jack. Because you can cycle it. Here's what it says. Let's take a look at it. So on face value, it's 5 and a blue. It's an enchantment called Shark Typhoon. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create an XX blue shark creature token with flying, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. So, okay. We have lots of high mana cost creatures in here. Let's take a look. Wow. 1, 2, 3. Oh wait, we said non-creature spell. What an epic fail. But I didn't throw it in here for the actual hard casting. I actually put it in here for the cycling effect. But this was inspired to me and recommended to me by my buddy Time Walk TV. So make sure you guys go check his Twitch out. And while we're doing some shameless plugs here, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell so you don't miss out on any more future content videos that come out, because we have all types of different things going on here. We got giveaways. Okay, also my Twitter and Twitch are going to be down below. I right now currently stream Apex Legends, not as much because I've been having issues, but either way, you'll see me do all types of cool stuff there. So, shameless plug over, back to the deck tech. Alright, now this version is running 28 lands. It was recommended by my buddy Ron at Time Walk TV to run 29. I'm going to do 28. It may be a punishment, or it may be a blessing, who knows. So, we have the mandatory 4 Breeding Pool, the 4 Howler Fountain, the 4 Temple Garden, and now we have 3 Temple of Enlightenment, 2 Temple of Mystery, 2 Temple of Plenty, 2 Islands, 1 Plains, 2 Forests, and 4 Fabled Passage. Now, for the sideboard, we have 3 Aether Gust, because there's going to be blue decks still running around, and you could counter, you know, something that you don't want to deal with, namely Teferi. Teferi, don't let them land it. Just kidding, no hatred for Teferi because I played with them. And we have 3 Devout Decree because mono black and, well, not mono black, everyone keeps underestimating mono black, but it's still there, it's a strong deck. Mono red, red black sacrifice, you got that Devout Decree because it has the Exile clause, Scry 1, deals with those 2 problematic creatures. Cavaliers even, I don't know if I'd bring it in that matchup. We got 3 Dovin's Vetoes, mostly to take out, you know, like an Absorb or someone countering your spell outside of a Dovin's Veto. Aether Gust. I mixed them up. Aether Gust and Mystical Dispute. Either way, there's 3 of those 2. The Aether Gust is for green and for red. So any Gruul decks running around, which they're running pretty rampant, or any green or anything, like, you don't want to deal with this stuff. All right. Enough of that. We have 2 Elspeth Conquers Death, which I think should be main, but what do I know? I think if you're going to run Shark Typhoon, Elspeth Conquers Death kind of meshes well with it. Alright, so we have 2 of those bad boys, and we have 1 in the sideboard I'm not too familiar with. I'm under the impression this is more for decks that, mono red. I have to think for a minute there. Mono red. And it's Tolsimir Friend to Wolves, so I'm not sure if that's really something you do, but you do ramp a lot, so you can have it out early. and remove one of their pesky creatures. Now, another fun thing that people may not recognize, because when he enters the battlefield, you could actually use that 3/3 wolf to trade off with the Bone Crusher Giant, and it will not trigger Bone Crusher Giant. Fun thing to know there. And now you've dealt with a pesky problem, you've gained some life, and it doesn't have you lose any life because it's not a spell, it's an ability. Abilities are crucial to learn and understand. So that's for this deck. Now on to my personal favorite deck, and this one excites me because it could do so many mean things, and I like doing mean things, even though I'm a nice guy. But in Magic, what else can you do? You gotta do what's fun for you. Alright, we are getting to it right now, whenever the website starts behaving itself. And this one's called Abuse Those ETBs. Abuse them. Alright, there's a lot of ETB stuff, and I am going to have to explain a little bit things here. Now, there's something that's not an ETB effect, but it ties in together what the deck is doing. We have us a mixture of some Rakdos Sacrifice along with ETB effects. So let's begin. The first card that we have a 4 of is Dreadhorde Butcher. Now, I know you're saying, oh my goodness, why is this in here? Well, one, it has haste, so you can finish off with Teferi, and when you hit Teferi, it gets bigger. If they target it with any type of, removal, you could either sack it to one of the sack outlets that we have in here, all right? So, and then deal damage to where it needed to go. I think that's a pretty good deal to me, and potentially get bigger. Maybe there should be an Ember Cleaver here now that I think about it. Should probably change this. All right, enough of that. We had Dreadhorde Butcher. We have 4 Crocs, the Titan of Death's Hunger. I don't need to explain that card. It's holding good value at 15 bucks right now, but it's still a pretty good card with ETB effects. And you could trigger it in conjunction with one of the other cards that we have in the list, which you guys may enjoy. Then we have a 3 Priests of the Forgotten Gods, because who doesn't like sack outlets and value you get from sacking with it. Then we have 4 Mayhem Devils, mandatory. No questions asked. I'm not going to fight with you about this. Have to have a Mayhem Devil. 4 Woe Striders, that might be a bit excessive, but I think it's pretty good because it gives you a free sack outlet and being able to see what your next card is without having to spend an actual mana. Let me double check. Nope. Sacrifice. Free sacrifice outlets. Those are the best. And Zuko Husk, anyone? All right. This is another ETB I think is fun. Is 2 Basilica Bellhaunt. Now this had a lot of fun in the early Esper hero decks. So now we're bringing it back, minus the hero, mainly because it enters the battlefield and you gain 3 life. They discard a card and you gain 3 life. Nothing wrong with that. Because you could use it as a sack outlet, or you could just, when it dies and you have a Luminous Brood Mom, that spirit will finally gain flying, because I never understood why this card was a spirit and it doesn't fly. Wah, wah. Anywho, enough of the meandering thoughts that I had there. So it's 3 Luminous Brood Mom, fun cards. So all these cards don't have any flying. Guess what they get when they come back? Flying. Thanks. I love it. And another card that's been kind of slept upon, and this is actually a really good card, and it still sees play. Not as much, but in the beginning it did. But it's always good to play it in the beginning. You have 3 Chandra, Acolyte of Flame. And this is awesome because guess what the 0 ability does? It says, well, one of the 0 abilities, there's 2 of them. Create 2 1/1 red elemental creature tokens. They gain haste. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. Keyword, sacrifice. Mayhem Devil, that, woo! Or fodder for the Priests of the Forgotten Gods. 0 them, you can't attack them to their board. Okay, cool. Well, I'll sack these 2 and make you sack. I draw a card. You lose 2 life. I get 2 black mana. Who loses there? You. Then, because like I said, this is a Rakdos type of deck here. Well, actually, it's Rakdos. It's mostly Rakdos. We have 3 Claim the Firstborn. I shouldn't have to explain that because you have so many ways to get rid of creatures. 1 Bedevil, yeah, I know, why are you playing this piece of crap? It's a crap card. Everyone says it's a crap card. I think it's pretty decent. You play Rakdos Control or anything like that, why not run it? Because guess what you can do with it? You could also recast it again with Chandra, Acolyte of Flame. It's like having 2. And then we have 2 Call of the Death Dwellers. because this looks like a fun card. Maybe there should be more. Maybe it should just be focused on the Reanimator deck. I don't know. That's not my place to say. I'm just telling you my deck tech. This is fun. We have Call of Death Dweller, 2 of those bad boys. This is 2 in a swamp. Return up to two target creatures with total converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Put a Death Touch counter on either of them, then put a Menace counter on either of them. What? Excuse me? What? Okay. Imagine giving Dreadhorde Butcher Menace. Imagine it giving it Death Touch, so when you die, you ping something, it dies. Just saying, guys, it's there. You guys got to see it. Make adjustments if need be. Make it optimal. All right, and we got the other usual suspect in sacrifice decks, and we could all say it together. We have the Witch's Oven. If that's what you're gonna say, then you are correct. We have 3 of those bad boys because I didn't know what to. If I really wanted to focus in that direction, but I think 3 should be fine. 4 is too many, I guess. I don't know. I'm not the mathematician that does that stuff, but you can figure it out. 24 lands in this bad boy, 4 Blood Crypt, 4 Fabled Passage, which this is the best place to have a Fabled Passage, 4 Godless Shrine, 2 Mountains, 1 Plains, 3 Sacred Foundry, 4 Savai Triome, and 2 Swamp. Now for the sideboard, we got 2 Red Cap Melees, 3 Agonizing Remorse just to get up into your opponent's hands. Could you imagine doing that to control with Kroxa and then just... Never mind. You can't control me if you ain't got no hand. Peace. Alright, enough of that. 2 Noxious Grasp, because there's still going to be green planeswalkers, and there's going to be white creatures, and there's going to be white planeswalkers. Not too many, I don't think. Oh, Teferi. Hey, let's count. Never mind. Alright. The next card, 2 Scorching Dragonfire, because it exiles, and exile is going to be very important for the next year and a half or 2 to come. 2 Active Treason. I copied some of the lists from other decks that I've seen because I had no idea what to do for the sideboard, and I really make some janky stuff. You got to go based on the meta that you play in. If I go to a tournament with a deck, I won't make it fun. It'd be a little bit more optimal. The fun I'll have in the side. Excuse me. The fun I'll have in the sideboard instead of the main deck. Like this deck is probably doing so many confusing things here. That's besides the point. 2 Cavalier Knight, because I like that card. It's got an ETB effect as well. 1 Chandra Awakened Inferno. I know this card has not been seeing much play, but I always have to assume control is going to be a problem, so that'd be something to switch up and put in because they're mostly going to see creatures. Mostly. We're going to have 1 Liliana Dreadhorde General just because it has a sack clause on it and it also has value. I mean, just saying, it's a pretty fun card. And that's it for that deck tech. Let me know what you guys think about it. If you want to make changes, what changes would you make? I'm always open to suggestions. As a matter of fact, you can tell me that on Twitter, or you can tell me I'm an idiot on Twitter. It's whatever. I mean, do you. Have fun. Play Magic. By the way, I hope you guys are staying safe out there. Thank you for joining me out here today. You could be watching so many other YouTubers, so I really appreciate you guys joining me. So again, thank you for coming. Peace.